So let me just make sure everybody check the computer. Marla says check the computer. Thank you, Marla. All right, so let me get everybody on Facebook. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody. So, it's so funny. Hi, this is Christy Whitman. Welcome to Facebook Live. Welcome to Zoom. We actually have Beth, who is going to be interviewing me. So for those of you that are going to be on Facebook, you'll be able to hear Beth, but you won't be able to see her. So welcome, everybody. And Beth, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Beth Myers, and I'm a certified Law of Attraction coach with the QSCA, and I'm an operations team member for CWI and the QSCA. Before we get started, make sure that you've checked your email with a reminder about this webinar, and go ahead and click on the link to print out the worksheet so that you can follow along and fill in the blanks. I'm so honored to be here to spend this time with each of you and with you, Christy Whitman. So I'll share a little bit more about my story later, but let me formally introduce you to Christy for those of you who don't know her. Christy Whitman is a transformational leader. She's a celebrity coach and the New York Times best-selling author of The Art of Having It All. She's appeared on The Today Show, The Morning Show, and her work has been featured in People Magazine, 17, Women's Day, Holiday Life, and Teen Vogue, among others. Christy's the CEO and founder of the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, a 12-month Law of Attraction coaching certification program. Christy's helped thousands of people worldwide to achieve their goals through her empowerment seminars, speeches, and coaching sessions and products. Christy's life-changing message reaches over 200,000 people a month, and her work has been promoted by and featured with esteemed authors and luminaries such as Marianne Williamson, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Marcy Shimoff, Brian Tracy, Neil Donald Walsh, Abraham Hicks, and Louise Hay. She currently lives in Arizona with her charming husband, Frederick, and their two amazing boys, Alex and Maxim. So welcome, Christy.
Thank you so much, Beth, for that nice introduction. And my husband is very charming. I would definitely have to agree with you on that. So, and I want to just thank you also for being here and being patient while I figured out the tech issues that my computer was muted. So I really want to acknowledge you, each one of you, for being here and taking the time to see if this is for you, and just really take a moment to acknowledge yourself and congratulate yourself for just showing up for this webinar. Showing up is really such a success secret. Showing up is really a lot of times half the battle. So we're going to share with you so much information today. We're going to share with you the biggest myths and the biggest benefits to becoming a certified and successful Law of Attraction coach, and also give you a much more in-depth look at coaching as a business, because it is a business, and provide you with more information about the Quantum Success Coaching Academy to know if it's right for you. And at the end of the call, I'll be extending a personal invitation to join our community at the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, which I've come to, and most of us have come to know as a family, because it's truly is. It's people that I consider my most sacred people, my circle of trust around me. So I truly care about them and their well-being. You're also going to hear from Beth, who is one of our amazing staff members, have gone through the QSCA, and she's going to share with you what her life was like before she discovered the QSCA, and then see how she's doing since she's been certified. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, Christy, let's start with you telling about your story of what your life was like before you discovered the Law of Attraction and why you became a coach.
Well, my life before I found Law of Attraction was, you know, no matter what I accomplished, no matter what I did, I was just not happy. It was like it was never enough. And I was like accomplishment junkie, always wanting to accomplish more, thinking that that next thing that I accomplished would be the thing that finally made me happy. So, you know, I was kind of raised and trained that if you got the right partner, if you had your body look a certain way, if you had so much success, if you had money in the bank, if you had all that stuff, then you'd be happy. And I got there and I was completely unfulfilled. And because I was giving a huge asking, I was wanting to feel the feeling of fulfillment and finally find like what would make me happy. That's when I actually found meditation and started learning about the universal laws and started hearing things like your thoughts create your reality. And it actually resonated with me at a very core level that it felt like truth. But when I started thinking about my thoughts and started paying attention to my thoughts, it was pretty scary because everything was what I now teach, what I now know, everything was just rooted in lack and limitation and not enoughness. And I wasn't enough. I didn't have enough. Nobody I was around was enough. Truly entrained in that place of just, not feeling good and nothing was ever going to be enough. And so I, really started shifting my perspective from lack to abundance, thought by thought, situation by situation, dedicated to my own growth. And about 5 years in, after learning about some of the universal laws and applying them and seeing amazing shifts and changes in my life, I went from being $60,000 in debt, dating men that were just not available, not the kind of guys that I would, want for a long-term relationship because they were, lied and cheated and that sort of thing. Very much into drugs and alcohol to the point that it was excessive. I had gained weight. I gained like 30 pounds. I quit my job because I just couldn't do it anymore. So I was finally feeling fulfilled from the inside out. And yet everything in my external environment was falling apart. So then I started applying what I was learning. And about 5 years in, I looked around at my life and I was like, oh my God, I met this amazing man. I'm now married to this great guy. I had my size 4 little body. I felt totally in perfect health. I was living in this really cute house, which I visualized what I wanted years ago. And oh my gosh, it manifested. I mean, the career I was in, it was good. I was, getting paid well. I had money in the bank. So everything was going well. And I finally felt a sense of fulfillment. And one night I was meditating like I normally do. And in my meditation, I saw a book cover and it said Christy Whitman, Perfect Pictures. And the pages started to unfold. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I've never written a book. And that night at 1:05 in the morning, I got woken up by, talking in my head and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I got up and I started writing down what was coming through me. And what was coming through me was like information that I was really needing at the time. And so the information was like I was getting coached by, something. And it was also 7 days in a row that I got these downloads. So I wrote this book called Perfect Pictures. And I got the book published and my friends and family bought the book and they were definitely not the ideal clients for this book. So I started speaking and someone says happy to see you. So I said happy. I started speaking in spiritual bookstores and churches. And when I was there, I would take them through processes and meditations. And people would ask me if I, coached. And back then, my frame of reference for a coach was like a football coach or a cheerleading coach. And I had no idea there was this thing called life coaching. This is like 17 years ago. And so I would just tell people in the class, just call me on the phone. I'll take you through these meditations. And when I did, I loved the process of feeling them being in one state of mind to shifting to another state of mind and getting a sense of relief. And me being the catalyst, me being the container for that to happen, it really felt like for the first time in my life, what I was doing was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It was a calling for me. And so I went to school and became a coach and built my business while I was still working full-time as a pharmaceutical rep. And about 11 years ago, I went full-time and I haven't looked back. It's been the most amazing experience and the most rewarding vocation, journey that I've ever been on. And I'm just so grateful every single day that I get to do what I do.
Well, I'm grateful as well. And I know there are so many other thousands of people that are so grateful to you for creating the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. And one of the things I wanted to know is when you created the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, Why did you decide to create it the way that you did? There's lots of other coaching programs out there. What was your inspiration?
Well, for me, it was funny because I had someone talking to me about how she created a certification program. And I thought, well, gosh, that'd be awesome to create one for law of attraction in the way that I understand and know and apply law of attraction. And so I thought about it and I thought, well, who am I to? Right? I'm a certified coach, but I have all these different processes that most people don't know about. And right after I asked that question, I had 4 days in a row. It was amazing. On a Monday, I was coaching a woman who now is a successful coach herself. But she said, Vanessa said to me, I want to get certified by you. And I said, well, Vanessa, I don't do that. I can send you over to Leading Edge Coaching. That's where I got certified. It's an amazing course. And she's like, no. I want you to certify me. You have a way that's different than any other coach I've experienced. You understand the universal laws better than anybody. Please, would you certify me? I'm like, I don't do that. I'm like arguing with her. It's like, I don't do that. So the next night I was at a conference. I was doing a workshop in Montreal, and it was a 2-night conference, 2 hours each. And the first night, a man came up to me at the end of the conference, excuse me, at the end of the workshop. And he goes, I've discovered I really want to be a coach, and I really would love to coach like you do. Would you be willing to certify me, to teach me what you know? And I'm like, I don't certify. I don't do that, right? So I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, this is twice in 2 days. So the third day, the last night, a woman comes up to me, totally separate. She was on separate opposite ends of the room from the guy from the first night. And she comes up to me and she goes, I really want to learn from you. I really want you to certify me in what you know. Nobody talks about the 7 essential laws. How can I get certified by you? By this time, I'm like, I don't know. I'll let you know. And by Thursday afternoon, I was coaching Evelyn, who now is a instructor and lead instructor, managing director of the QSCA, of the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. And she was my client at the time, and she was so excited. It was like she had found the Holy Grail. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I couldn't wait to talk to you today. I finally figured out what I want to do for a living. And I'm like, what, Evelyn? And she goes, I want to do what you do. She goes, my life has been changed by my coaching with you. And she's like, I want to do that too. I want to affect changes for other people. And she goes, so I want you to train me to do what you do. And I said, well, Evelyn, it's funny because this is the 4th day in a row. I've had many people asking me to certify them, to teach them what I know. And I said, and I'm going to start to put together a coaching certification program. And she said, when you do, I will be the first to sign up. And she was. So for me, it was just simple. I said, okay, if I'm going to teach someone to be a coach like me with all the training that I've done, I've been practicing universal laws for about 21 years now, going on 22. And I thought of all the classes that I've learned, of all the, things that I know that are about universal laws and the processes and what I'd work with my clients on, if I was going to teach somebody else to duplicate that, what would I teach them? And it all just came down. It was just all channeled through within, it was like I had the time frame of 12 months, the module, came through, all 5 of the modules came through, what they would be, the order that they would be in. And when I sat back after just writing feverishly for about an hour, I was like amazed. And I was able to, get some partners to promote it and just put it out there. And so we've been in business since 2008. And yes, you're right. There are other coaching certification programs out there. There's actually some that have popped up in the last several years. And we've been around since 2008. And I can say that we have certified some of the best coaches on the planet because we have training that is unlike any other training out there. Just even the structure and the accountability and the support that you get in the QSCA compared to other programs. I've had coaches, coaches love to learn. So I've had coaches go to other different programs that are out there, like top, coaching certification programs that are $20, $25, $30, even $30,000 out there. And they'll come back and say the value of your certification and what I learned, it far outpasses the ones that were like, 4 times, 5 times the amount that yours were. So.
And I hear that quite often, Christy, as an operations team member, people sharing and talking about that, the comprehensiveness So who is this QSCA program for? And why would someone want to have a coaching business?
Oh, well, why wouldn't they want to have a coaching business? So, I mean, I'm in love. I'm so in love with coaching, and I'm so grateful that I get to do it. But who it's for is, I'm just going to say who it is for and who it's not for. Who it's for is for anybody that's been a coach for a little bit or a while, or even if you have a successful coaching business. The difference between the Quantum Success Coaching Academy and what you'll learn here is completely different than anything you're going to learn anyplace else. And the good thing about it is that these principles are universal. So you could have a man come to you about wanting to create more business success one day, and have a woman that wants to create a better relationship with her child the next day, and work the same processes, because these processes that we teach, the whole entire framework of how to set up a call, how to set up a session, all this kind of stuff. And then all of the processes, we teach about 75 different processes that are all universal. So it works for every single person, every single time, for every single situation, as long as you're actually being consistent and moving the energy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So those people that are already coaches, this is a great program for them. Those of you that want to be a coach and you've never coached a day in your life, this is also for you, because we have a module. It's called Effective Coaching Skills. And in Effective Coaching Skills, we tell you the do's and the don'ts, and how to set up the framework for your coaching. And we give like hands-on training through a feedback process where you coach people, and we actually set you up with buddies that are going through the process with you, as well as pod members who you get to work through and really learn from very basic levels. So it's anywhere from coaches that have been around for a while to coaches that are wanting to start out, to people that are really wanting to learn the universal laws and learn how to really effectively change their lives by applying them. We have many people that intentionally go through the program because they like the idea of being a coach, and then they get into it and they're like, you know what? I love this information. I'm appreciating what I'm learning. I'm appreciating how I'm changing and becoming completely empowered and connected to myself, probably for the first time ever. Yet I'm clear I don't want to be a coach, but I want to stay in it because of the fact that the development and the growth that I'm experiencing and the understanding of these principles is so high level that it's something that, so if you're in personal development or you love learning, this coaching program is for you too.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
So why is law of attraction coaching so important?
Well, I also have to answer that question. Why would someone want to have a coaching business, and why? I'll kind of put them together. If you love helping people, and I don't mean rescuing people, there's a big difference, but if you love being the conduit for change for somebody, if you love that what you do as a living is actually, doing something of service and supporting and feels like an alignment, having a coaching business is so amazing. I mean, because we're going to talk about benefits and stuff, but you get to be your own boss. You get to call your own shots. You can make as much or as little. You can work as much or as little. So even if you're, like me, when I first started my coaching business, I was working full time in corporate America. And so I would take nights and weekends to do my coaching and to build that up. Other people we have that are moms, and they just coach a few times a week, and they earn an extra couple of $1,000s for their family and for, savings and college savings for their kids. Other people have really taken and run with it and are earning well over six figures, really doing something that they absolutely love. So you get to be your own boss. You get to be as creative as you want. You get to work as much as you want. You get to call your shots on your calendar. That's what one thing is I love, is that everything is on my calendar. It's my doing. It's not like a boss told me to do it or something I have to do. I absolutely love my days because I get to decide what I fill my days with. And that sense of freedom of that choice is like, it's a whole, is an entirely different life. So, law of attraction coaching is so important because everything is based on universal laws. I wish that when kids are babies, literally, and they start to go to school, they start to go to preschool, that they can be first taught about the universal laws, how the universe works. Because I feel like being a human is like the same analogy of going and trying to play baseball. Like someone just hands you a ball and says, you know, go ahead, go for it. And they don't teach you any of the rules. They don't, you know, and so you go up and you hit the ball and you run to third base, you're going to be out, you know. But it's like games are so much easier when you know what the rules are, you know what the penalties are going to be, you know how you can get ahead and how you can succeed. And that's how I feel about knowing these universal laws, is that it's so much easier to navigate through life and to feel empowered to deliberately create what you want versus feeling like a victim, like things just happen to us, or, you know, we're being controlled by different circumstances. So I know a lot of times people as human beings have a hard time with money, or they struggle with money, or their beliefs around money. To be able to get on the front side of that and know that you are the person that either repels from you or attracts to you money, and that you're the one that's in the power seat with that you don't have, money doesn't have power over you. It's really a very different way of life, and it's full of freedom and choice and fun. And, you know, is there contrast that shows up in life? Absolutely. But knowing what the tools are when a problem comes along, like Devo, you must whip it. When a problem comes around, you know that you can affect change, and that you can just look at it as something you don't want, and then focus your attention, your energy on something you do want. And that the universal laws, especially law of attraction, is a mirror reflection. Because when you think about it, every single person needs to know this information, because all of us are energy towers sending out a signal all day, every day. So by the thoughts that we think, by the energy that gets stuck, by blocks, that the energy that flows in and out of us, by the perspective that we have, the beliefs, what we say, you know, what we physically do as a behavior, all has an energetic consequence. And the law of attraction is matching energies, you know. So if we're sending out negative energy, we're going to get things that are negative back. Even if we're thinking, I want more money, as an example, or I want more clients, or I want to have my ideal body, or I want to, whatever it is, I want to lose weight, you know, whatever. The energy, the universe is always focusing on and pays attention to and responds to vibration. And so when you can know that, okay, everything that you've created in your life right now is because something that was energetically sent out and matched by law of attraction. So the good news is any situation that you look at in your life, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your finances, you know, whatever it is, you can affect that change and actually change it around. You can actually be the one that decides, be the author of your life, the artist, you know, of your painting. And truly, no matter what age you are, no matter what sex you are, no matter, you know, it doesn't matter. You can effectively apply this information and make the changes. So law of attraction coaching is so important, because when you work with this stuff, when you work with these universal laws with, you know, with your clients, and knowing that you can help effectively create that change within them because it's universal. I mean, there's no other feeling. And it has to work for every single person because it's universal. It's not like just something that I made up. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not Christy Whitman theory. You know what I'm saying? It's universal.
Yes, it is. And I love what you said about preschool, that we, you know, just being from the field of education,
yeah,
it's fabulous. So what are the top 3 myths that you've heard about becoming a law of attraction coach from people?
Well, I wanted to just say something because that was interesting you said that. You know, it's like I think of knowing about law of attraction as being in like kindergarten or preschool. It's important to know it, you know, but it's like there's so much more to learn to be able to really be masterful of your life. And that's where I feel like the universal laws, like we don't just teach law of attraction. That's important. It's basic, you know, each builds on each other, right? You need to go to 2nd grade and learn how to write before you can go to 3rd grade. And, you know, there's a certain progression in math that you need to learn. it's the same way with universal laws. So I figure law of attraction is like elementary stuff, and then it just builds and builds and builds. And then you kind of go to graduate school and you become masterful over your life. So to go back, what you asked me now, Beth, is you were asking me what are the 3 myths about becoming a law of attraction coach. There's actually many, but the first one is that the coaching industry is just a fad, and that nobody is going to use a life coach, or that nobody actually really does life coach now. And that, in fact, is a total myth, because more and more people are starting to realize that in order for them to have the life that they want, whether it's, things are good in their life and they want to attract a new partner, but no matter what they seem to do can't, change, or they seem to be attracting the same kind of guys or the same kind of women, or, no matter what they do to get ahead, work harder and push more and be driven more. It's like no matter what they do in their career, they just can't seem to make more money, or they can't seem to be the one that's chosen for the promotions. There's energy and imprints and, blocks and things that happen as us human beings, as we're growing and developing into our life. And as we can understand, what our intentions are and raise our vibration to the things that we do want, it becomes so much easier that it's like you're not having to effort. I just find that when people start learning about the universal laws, especially 7 essential laws, that their lives become easier, that they're more in the flow. They don't have to push so much. And, having that, it's like making the most of your time. Like I find like a coach for me shortens the learning curve. And when you can have someone showing you a way or holding you accountable, the results that you get in your life are just, exponential. It's like the change. So more and more people are hiring coaches. It's becoming more mainstream. More and more people are accepting it, and more people are seeing that other people that are successful actually are hiring coaches. So it's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to grow. I know that. And lots of people use a life coach. So the second myth about coaches, and I hear this all the time, is that how can I, help someone if I'm not perfect? And so it's really funny. I don't know how this became, I don't know how 1 + 1 = 2 in the life of coaching, but I think people think that if you're a coach, you absolutely need to be perfect. Just look what happened on Zoom. We're trying to figure out the technology, and all I needed to do was unmute my computer. Everybody could hear Beth except for me. I am not perfect, but I'm a successful coach, and I made a great living at it. So, all of us are human beings learning on this spinning, globe that we're on. And we're all, always forever will have desires that birth within us. We all want to reach for something that makes us feel better, whether it's in our bodies, in our finances, in our careers. We're always wanting to feel good. And, it's a honor and a privilege to be a coach, to be able to see people do that. But you definitely don't have to be perfect in order to be a coach. Now, there's a thing of integrity and being authentic. So if you're a person that, has been in bankruptcy and has always had an issue of money, don't be a creating money coach, right? If you've never had a successful relationship and don't be a relationship coach, right? But there are other areas in your life that you have mastered, or that you have a good feeling sense about. Or, people come to you and go, wow, you're so great at this and this and this. Or, maybe you have a wonderful relationship and people are always in admiration of how well you've kept your relationship alive for so long in such a loving way. You don't have to be perfect, but hone in to the places where you are thriving in your life, where you are, you can help someone that's right behind you and lend a hand out to give them a hand up. So I want to say the third myth that I'll share today is that people think, really the question is, can I make it? Can I really make a living as a coach? And you can, actually. I'm living proof. There's lots of people that I know. I was actually with 20 women this last weekend that are all successful coaches making great living. And there actually was a study done by PricewaterhouseCoopers commissioned by the ICF. So the ICF is the International Coaching Federation. I am not an International Coaching Federation coach, and I've made a great living not doing that, not going through the ICF. So who was surveyed was coaches that were ICF and non-ICF certified. So what they found was that coaches earn an average of $207 per hour. Many Quantum Success Coaching Academy coaches earn a lot more than that per hour, per session, per hour. But full-time average coaches make about $82,000 a year. And again, those who do more and put more in and do more work on themselves, there's greater potential for that. So, there really is, how much money can a coach make? It really depends on your programming. It depends on how much you want to make. Some people, like I said, if you could just quit your day job where you have to go there and be there at 8 o'clock and leave at 5 and have to get caught in traffic and you have to deal with the boss and coworkers and do something that sucks the life out of you. I've had many people that have replaced those type of jobs with coaching, making the same amount of money, but the time freedom and not having a boss and being able to be creative and being able to, many of the coaches, be able to be there for their kids so that if they've got a field trip, they could go with their family, with their kids on a field trip. They can be there when they come home from school. It really depends on what you want to create your life to be, and how much you want to make is really what you're programmed to be. But the good thing is that, what you programmed, you will earn. But one of the biggest benefits about the Quantum Success Coaching Academy is that you are going to be going through a certification program, but you'll also be going through a transformation in your own lives during the next 12 months. And because you're going to get access to all my programs, all the techniques, all the processes that will help you create your own success first, your own success and abundance. And then, you get to help other people do that too. So it's a huge benefit, more than even the ones I mentioned before, because you're shifting from the inside out, because your outer reality, this is universal laws, your outer reality will shift when you're shifting inside. So this just means more freedom in your life, more success, more clients, more money, more overall abundance. So, I could go on and on, Beth.
Yes. Well, there are just so many different benefits. And you said like the 7 essential laws, that was one of the things. And that transformation, I can speak to that a little bit later about my own personal growth within that, and just helping other people is just such a joy. So why would someone choose to get certified with the QSCA?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons, but you're going to get, a massive support team. So you get your teachers, who are Evelyn and Julie and Rachel. They're the teachers for the course. You get support from your mentors. We have paid mentors that help out and that are involved in the first 6 months of the program. You get a pod group who are 3 to 4 people that are in your time zone, in your class, that is going to be going through this with you. So it's like having someone holding your hand, having someone, it's like this, and this is one of the biggest things for me now. And one of the things I'm so grateful that I'm in this industry and that I have coaches, is that I have a community. And that's one of the biggest things, is that you're involved in a very, very supportive, healthy, positive community. I had something happen to me last Thursday. It was insane. I was working out and I pulled out my back, and I felt something kind of pull in my back. And as soon as that happened, I was so grateful that I had the information energetically to know what to do about it, to know what that meant, but then to also reach out to other friends that are life coaches, Reiki masters, healers, and ask them to help me out. And my back is like nothing ever happened to it. I was fine by Thursday afternoon, kind of tender a little bit. But today I was like doing Pilates and I'm like, it's totally healed. And it's like, had that happened before years ago, I wouldn't have known what to do and who to call. And I probably would have had that as an excuse to stop me or to start creating a story around it. And who knows what kind of back problems I would have continued to have because of it. But it's fully healed now. So that's the stuff that you can understand, is like, you learn how to heal yourself and how to work with the universal laws and call the things to you that you want in your life. But the absolute transformation that you go through, I like to say it's like everybody comes in a womb and you're birthed out the other side. It's like you've got an entire support system midwifing you to your next evolution of who you're becoming. So we have feedback. I mean, the feedback process that we have and the training, the actual training is, I mean, better than anything out there. And I've heard that again from other people. It's the most comprehensive coach training program out there. And these are not words that I said, hey, let's call it the most comprehensive. This is the feedback we get all the time since 2008, over and over and over again. Because you're not just going somewhere for a weekend to learn theory, what it's like to be a coach. You're committed to a year-long process where you get to implement everything that you're learning. You get to digest it. You get to see it out in your own life. You get to work with the processes during classes. I mean, there's just so much benefit to being a QSCA coach.
Definitely.
Yes.
So how is the program structured, and what's the time commitment on a weekly basis?
Well, you know, I created the program because I wanted, you know, people to be able to go through the process and still be able to do what they, you know, are doing in their lives. I don't want them to have to go away for a weekend or continue to go away from their families and do travel and all that kind of stuff. You get to sit in the comfort of your own home or your own office and learn this information. So, I mean, there's just so many reasons, you know, to do this, but how it's structured is, it's a 12-month certification program. So again, you can absorb the information, go through your own growth, but so that life is not disrupted, you know, so it only creates more success what you're doing. We've had people go through the program wanting to become a coach and they were a sales rep, and then all of a sudden their sales numbers starting to increase. We had real estate people that went through the program and their real estate deals got bigger and bigger. So the information that you're gaining, you go through your own growth, and it just creates more success at whatever you're currently doing. So it takes about 5 to 6 hours a week. And that includes reading, doing the 2 calls per week, because you have the first 3 Wednesdays of the month, you have a 60 to 90 minute call, which is the core curriculum call. So the first 3 Wednesdays of the month. And so say that you have a month that has 4 or 5 weeks. You either have a week or 2 to integrate the information, to check, you know, catch up on your reading, to do calls with clients, to do your pod calls, stuff like that. So, you know, it really is minimal, considering that you're investing in a new, well, not only a new way of living, but a new career, you know?
Yeah. Will it take somebody a long time to build a successful coaching business, Christy?
Well, yes and no. So yes, it could take a long time to build a coaching business with the wrong plan, with no guidance, no accountability, and just trying to work harder every day. I've seen coaches do that, you know, without the understanding of alignment and with working with universal laws. It can be a huge challenge. I see coaches, I hear that all the time, coaches that are not certified with the QSCA. A lot of people call themselves a life coach, but they're not succeeding because they're really missing the most important pieces of creation, of learning how to create a business. So, you know, it can be easier. That's why I created the QSCA, so it could take less time to create a coaching business. And, you know, if you follow the success strategies that we're going to show you in the business building module and all the, you know, the bonus calls that you get and the bonus, you know, programs that you get, if you follow it through the entire program, you're following a success program that's been tested and proven. So, you know, if you're on the right track, you know, it doesn't have to take a long time, but it can if you are trying to figure it out yourself, or if the training program or certification program you're going through only gives you a part of the information, not all of it.
Well, Christy, I understand that you have a special offer for everyone that's on the call today
Yes.
and who's interested in joining the QSCA. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, I can. It's perfect. So thank you for asking that question. The regular investment for the Quantum Success Coaching Academy is $4,997, and you get a $1,000 discount just for sticking with me through the end of the webinar today and hearing all that we have to say. So you can actually go to christywhitman.com/register. There's much more information, but on that page, you'll see that there's 3 payment plans when you do register. You can either do a single pay, where you'll just pay $34.97, so $3,497. You have a three-pay plan of $1,397, or you have a 13-pay, which is $347 each. So you can get started with as little as $347 today, but I really encourage you to take advantage of the single pay plan because that saves you an extra money. But just a reminder that courses, the class start May 2nd. And Beth, I would just love for you to share your experience of where you were before you started the QSCA. Sorry, full pay is $3,997. Sorry. But where were you before? Like, I know you were a school, were a principal of a school. So share with everybody your experience of where you were before you found the QSCA.
Well, it's so interesting because you said so many key words that I was like, oh, I wanted to raise my hand. But it was one of the things of, I was a hard worker. I've always been a very hard worker. And I had been in the school system I retired at 31 years. And I had been an educator. I was a first grade teacher and transitional first grade teacher, then moved to be a school counselor. And about 17 years ago, I heard about life coaching. And I was like, oh, wow, I want to do that when I retire from the school system and work with other people besides just children. And so as I, kept that on the back burner, it was getting closer to when I could retire. And I was like, you know what, I need to start exploring. So I started exploring some different coaching programs. And one day you just popped up in my email box. I'd never heard of you. I had not known a lot about the law of attraction or the universal laws. I'd watched The Secret and I was one who tried very hard to make things happen. That hardworking piece, that was part of who I was. And in 2014, I joined the QSCA. I actually had gone through my EAP program to a therapist who was actually trained as a coach also. And so I looked at who she got trained with, and I was like, you know what? You were the person that resonated with me because you are just so real, Christy, and have such integrity. And I know that from going through the QSCA and the comprehensiveness of your program and being an educator, that is something that's always been so important for me, is comprehensiveness and to find someone that I felt in alignment with. And you were that person. And I sat in the parking lot that last day before I went into my session and said, I signed up. I signed up right before the doors closed. So I am forever grateful because what I learned during my 12 months in the QSCA and beyond has been life-changing, because life is no longer hard in the sense where I have to work hard. It's easy breezy because of the universal laws. And what I've learned from you, from my instructors, from the coaching buddies, the pod group members, just the loving support and community that you have created, the family that you have created. It's like coming home. And not only coming home to a family, but coming home to myself. And that has been huge for me as I transitioned in many different ways. I ended up retiring probably about a year earlier than I had decided that I was going to, because life happens. Both my parents had been ill, and I was able to take a leave of absence. I was working with you, kind of helping a little bit here and there as I could, and got to start to work with you. And I am both my parents transitioned, and I could not have done that without what I've learned from the QSCA and the universal laws, because I now know how to trust, to rely upon spirit totally, and to allow. My coaching buddy and I used to really kind of curse that allowing word because that was a tough one. But that has helped me tremendously in my life. And it's helped me move through life more joyfully and to accept what is. And to be able to know that I can deliberately create any situation that I'm in to be more joyful in the moments. So thank you, Christy.
Oh, I'm like tearing over here. You're so welcome. I love hearing stories like yours, and I love seeing where you shifted and seeing who you've become. It's amazing. And I agree with you. It's like, I am so grateful that I have this information. And, when things like synchronicities happen now, and they happen so fast all the time, I'm not surprised anymore, but it's still like, oh, it just still makes me feel like, the magic of it, the I don't know, the word for it, but the feeling of like, wow, I manifested that. I did that. I put my intention, I aligned myself, and then I got what I wanted. And that I don't have to be a victim to what I don't want anymore. There's no price. There's nothing like that. It's just a priceless human, it's a human tool to have, how to know how to affect change instead of being a victim to it. So really grateful. So thank you for sharing your experience. So everybody, if you are ready, here's how I say, if you're ready or not. If you don't resonate with me and you think I'm cuckoo, or you just think like, no, she's not the one for me, well, let's just part friends and all is well, But if you're leaning in and you're like, this is what I'm talking about, this is what I've been wanting, this is what I've been really looking for, here's your invitation. It's now open enrollment for the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. You can go to christywhitman.com/register. And if you need to speak to any, staff member, you can email support@christywhitman.com. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. I have the most amazing dream team of amazing people, including Beth, that are there to truly just serve, because they feel, maybe you could talk to this, Beth, but you all feel like, it's like, I just want to give back because I feel so grateful and blessed to know this information. I want to give back to the students that are going through it. So, is that true for you?
Oh my gosh, yes. And the interesting thing is I love working with people locally. I worked with over 15,000 students over my career, and I get to work with people worldwide. And that was one of my intentions. And actually on my manifestation list at the very beginning, I said, and I would love to work with Christy Whitman and work with people worldwide. And I just, for every day, I am so grateful that I have helped manifest that and have met you and others that are so like-minded, because we can then help other people. And I just feel like I'm just giving a hand back to help other people that want to go on this journey as well.
Absolutely. So all I have to say is, I ask you, either lean in. Will you feel a little bit of fear? Of course. We're aware, obviously, that $3,997 is a chunk of money. Other certification programs out there are 10, 15, 20, 25,000 and more. And then you've got your run-of-the-mill $500, downloadable programs. And you just have to, understand that you get what you invest in. And it was really important for me to make this course to be full and just completely every single day, giving tons and tons of value for a good amount of money. And that's not outrageous and crazy, but that really has accountability, live teachers, where you're going to have, a step-by-step process. So if this feels good for you and you're leaning in, you're saying, yes, this is for me, I invite you to join christywhitman.com/register. And on the other side, we are going to take such good care of you. Welcome into the family. Just think of it. By the end of 12 months, by April next year, you could have not only a certification from a very reputable company as a life coach, best training out there, but your life also will have transformed because you learn and apply this information. So just imagine that. So it's pretty amazing. Beth, do we have any questions that we need to answer before we finish up today?
I think most of them got answered by Teresa and Nada, and so we're good.
Wonderful. Okay, so if you have any questions after this, or if you're listening to the recording and you just feel like, after a question popped up, please just email us, support@christywhitman.com. You'll see Tabitha, Nada, Beth, all of us are happy to answer any questions that we have. We all apply the universal laws. There's a process that we teach in the business building module called the strategic attraction plan, which is amazing and will help you attract whoever you want in your business. If you need staff support, if you want clients, whatever it is. And all of us as a team got together, and we know the kind of client, the kind of coach that we want to serve. And so if you feel that you're in alignment and you feel like you're leaning in, it's because you're being called. If you feel that life coaching is something that you feel like you need to lean into, it's because there's a calling. And you learn why and all that information once you get inside the QSCA, because we teach stuff that nobody else teaches. So I would love to have you inside as part of our family. Registration closes in about a week and a half, so you have a little bit of time, but go to christywhitman.com/register, and we'll take care of you on the other side. So thank you all so much. Appreciate all of you being here. Thank you so much, Beth, for being the hostess with the mostest. And Teresa, Nada, Tabitha, Tammy, all of your support. Appreciate all of you so much. So I'm going to take off for now, but thank you all so much. Remember, it's christywhitman.com/register. And we're just applauding and celebrating each one of you that is saying yes to the calling, that is saying yes to yourself, even though you might be like, go for it. So worth it on the other side. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.